Hello and happy Sunday. This is my grandfather's briefcase from the 1950s. And inside I keep one of my most precious treasures that I'm about to show you. This is my grandmother's scrapbook from 1936. This scrapbook is almost 90 years old. And as you can see, it says Mrs. Griff Robinson. And you can look at the design on it on the outside. And this is the back. So she started this scrapbook after they got married in 1936. My grandma was born in 1917. She was born in the area that's now Valley, Alabama, in the house that still sits on that property. She lived in Florida, California, traveled around the world, and she spent her last years back in Alabama. I know that I do a lot of document videos where I show you replicas, or they're clearly marked as replicas, but everything you're about to see in this book is 100% real. Now, this is a clipping from a magazine that my grandmother decided to use as an end paper. And I love this picture by Morgan Dennis because this is the type of picture my grandmother loved. She loved cats, and I can see her absolutely loving this picture. There was never a cat that she would not take in and feed and give a home to. So it's fitting that she chose this picture for her end paper. And what we see here are artifacts from 1936 when she got married, and I'm going to go through them. This is F&W Grand Silver Stores, Inc. from Montgomery, Alabama, May 8th, 1936, probably to buy silverware for the wedding. This is Montgomery, it says Montgomery Civil Lanier High School. This is something she got when she graduated, which is the year she got married too. So this is Oak Park, Montgomery, Alabama, May 8th, 1936. It's just a little sliver of stick that she kept. This twig is from May 8th, 1936 from Tallahassee, Alabama. And this leaf she kept from May 8th, 1936, Montgomery, Alabama at the Capitol. So these are things in her last year of high school that she kept. Here's a firecracker. It says Christmas of 1933 that she kept. It says Field Day 1928, fourth grade. So some of these things are, that was missing, sadly. This is August 23rd, 1931. This little spoon from Anniston, Alabama. And this big spoon, it says January 30th, 1931, Lafayette, Alabama. Celebration of Roosevelt's election. Or it says celebration of Roosevelt's birth. Oh boy, what a day, she writes there. This little cigarette butt says October 14th, 1934. And it says, if you look very carefully, it says Lucky Strike on it. I never saw my grandmother smoke a cigarette in my life, but July 19th, 1935, Anniston Cotton Mill, and that's some cotton thread that has been probably combed and carded. She did work in a cotton mill. Here's a ticket stub, November 24th, 1933. A piece of our truck, J.H. Roberts, driver, 1934. History class of 1933. And it's a little bottle that she kept. It says something missing. It was a piece of raw cotton right here. March 7th, 1935, the first time I was ever inside a cotton mill in Lafayette. I used to work in a cotton mill in LaGrange, Georgia. And it was very similar to where my grandma worked. She always was kind of proud of me during that time I worked there. This is biology, our first field trip, 1934, November 1st. And there's a leaf. One of the field trips that my grandparents went on is they would go to Tuskegee and they would visit the lab of George Washington Carver and watch him do experiments. She writes on this piece of clay, "What a day. Our second field trip, November 8th, 1934. Billy Depon plus I drew straws over G and G. I got the shortest one. It's a straw she drew. She put in there October 19th, 1934. What a day. Union Hill, 1929, 6th grade. She saved a little stick right here. Here's a little pencil in English class, 1934. She has a little stub of pencil. This says, let me move it up a little bit. First orange leaf I ever saw, 1932. She has it pinned in here with a pen. 8th grade, Ellis Hall, 1931. It's a little ladder here. And last day of school, there's a piece of chalk, 1934. Here's a card that says Shriver Service Station, Standard Gas and Oil. It's a little pen that she got. You see that? Oak Grove Clubhouse. There's that's just a penny that she taped right here. December 1935. Here's a Sunday, July 21st, 1935. I don't know that place. Fort McCullist. Conrad Pickens and I got married biology club. 1934. That's got to be a joke. Mother's Day, 1935. Some pressed flowers. Here's off of a package of Easter candy, 1936. Probably my grandpa gave to her. She always loved candy. May 30th, 1935. Had a grand time. It's a pressed flower. Our last field trip in biology, 1935. October 1935, our agricultural class went on a field trip. There's a stick from July 1933. Mrs. Spears, last day of school, 1935. And then another stick signed by Tommy Dukes down here. Let's see, there's a hat, price tag from a hat for $3.50. Here it says, to Edna Tingle, love J.T. Robinson and family. And that was the man she would marry, my grandfather, right there. Mr. and Mrs. George E. Burton, that's a calling card, plus Nell. Miss Edna Tingle, Lafayette, Alabama, a card she made, or a placeholder. It says, we all wish you very much happiness and success throughout the coming year, Mr. and Mrs. Amos Gardner and family. Just a tiny remembrance from me. Here's wishing you all the luck in the world. These are probably graduation notes. Edna Tingle, a rolling pin. It is very useful in the house, keeping and serves a man well. It's a joke. Another price tag for $10.78. Here's a drawing that she did of someone named Evelyn. Local insurance man wins trips to nation capital. Alfred Cumby, he's a cousin of mine, special agent of the Equitable Life Insurance Society of New York, leaves Friday for Washington, D.C. on a trip given him by the company as a result of work accomplished in a contest during the month of April. He will visit interesting places in and around Washington. Mr. Cumby has been the local representative of this company for the past 18 months. This is a little napkin, and it says March 31st, 1936. Griff and I went to the show. That's my grandpa. Here's a napkin from a banquet in 1934. Here's some wrappers. There's a juicy fruit gum wrapper. Wiener roast, May 21st, 1934. Here's a Sixers candy wrapper. Friday, May 10th, 1935. Spent a while before school at Bullock's. Here's a chewing gum for Beech Nut Chewing Gum, October 14th, 1933. Special children's ticket, Barnett Brothers Circus and Menagerie. This ticket and 15 cents will admit one child under 12 years of age to the circus. Afternoon performance only. And she wrote, what an afternoon. She wrote Gil Shiz is a gum wrapper here. Another Wrigley's gum wrapper. August 20th, 1933. There's a ticket, a TV watching ticket. Holloway's Cowbells candy. At Wallace Lake, 1935. Another gum wrapper here. I guess you like Beech Nut Chewing Gum. Gonna zoom in so you can see some of these wrappers in detail. It's a treasure, she says here. There's an NRA logo on that from the Great Depression. Sportsman's chocolate bracer, a man's chocolate. Saturday night. Caramel candy right there. Collins. Gold tip. I think that's a cigarette. Or is that gum? Another napkin, September 28th, 1935. It says, fish supper at Riverside, danced, had a big time. Owen, Mama, Daddy, and me. And, is a candy wrapper here. This article sold by Brady's Drugstore. Another gum, Beech Nut gum. A pack of Sherwood Coggins cigarettes. And she wrote, Tuesday, March 24th, 1936. He is very cute and how? She's talking about somebody she likes. Hopefully my grandpa. She's very cute and how? Gardner potato chips right here. Heap Big Chew. Rachel Wheeler, what fun. Another gold gum tip. Okay, it is gum. Friday night. Holloway's Cowbells candy. Here's a Butterfinger wrapper. I don't know if you can make that out. She had a Butterfinger here. Lemon drops. O. Henry candy bar wrapper right here. Spent the afternoon with algae. Something Myrtle. Oh, they watched Gold Diggers of 1935, the movie, and that's some movie theater candy. Went to the show, Gold Diggers of 1935. I think that had Ginger Rogers. Cinnamon dentine chewing gum right here. There's a ticket stub. Carnival ticket. Here's a tattoo chewing gum. Admit one to Cherry Blossom High School Auditorium. What a Night, 1934. It's a dance, Cherry Blossom dance. Dentine chewing gum. Ice cream plates, 4.5-inch size. Another gold tip wrapper. Make sure you can see that. Move it up just a little bit. It's very interesting stuff. June 6, 1936, there's a little drawing here, and it says, let me call you sweetheart. It's the lovely month of June, just the time for a wedding, a trip, and a honeymoon. Come to Upton's dwelling Saturday night at 8. Since this is a lover's party, bring along your dearest date. August 29th, 1934, ice cream supper, Anniston, Alabama. And it has a list of the people who were there. Edna Tingle, my grandma. There's another ad for Jake's potato chips right here and dentine gum. Here's like a wrapper. It says DeWitt. Some chewing gum wrappers. Ice cream wrapper. A hayride. Made in China. It looks like a little toy, a little zebra toy she got at the hayride. Windmill cabin camp, barbecue and drinks. There's a baby Ruth candy bar wrapper right here. If you can see that. Bubble gum right here. Memorandum. There's words that she got, probably just like an autograph book, little letters written to her by her friends. Maybe in graduating or high school friends, or the end of a school year. A lot more poetry. Dear Edna, some love one, some love two. I love one, and that is you. When you were married and live on a hill, send me a kiss by a whippoorwill. Love, Rachel. That's written in shorthand. My grandma could read shorthand. Dear Edna, when evening pulls its curtain down and pins it into a star, remember that you have a friend, although she may wander far. I love you, May Julie. Dear Edna, I don't think that you were raised in hell. I think that you were raised in heaven, made to be an angel. I love you as a friend and classmate, and may we remain that way. Love is a tiny thing. Shape it like a toy. If you want your heart broke, just give it to a boy. Love, Cat. Lafayette, Alabama, December 20th, 1934. Dear Edna, when you were married and live on a hill, send you a bill by, send you a kills by a whippoorwill. I'm not sure what that means. Rough and restless, born in 24th and raised in Texas, just monk. Some of these are a little hard to read. Dearest Edna, it's a pleasure for me to write in your book. You have been a mighty sweet girl, and I hope you will always remember me as being your friend. Love always, Ruth Poe, Lafayette, Alabama, Route 4. Dear Edna, when you are married and your husband gets cross, pick up the rolling pin and show him who's boss. When you are married and your husband digs ditches, he will call you to patch his britches. Always a friend, Beth Parker. So many of these little notes, and it's making me somewhat melancholy to read these because it makes me miss my grandma, because I know the kind of person she was, and to see how much people loved her and wrote all of these messages to her. Red Riding Hood. This is a little storybook thing, and this is Jack Frost, another one. Here's Mother Goose, The Little Match Girl, Bushy Tail, and Hazel Squirrel. Bedtime stories. These are little bedtime story cards. Here is a newspaper clipping. Oh, this is from much later. This is from 1980. I don't know how this got in here, but Lieutenant Governor McMillan speaks to Troy State graduates. I don't know if she wanted that article. Must be that, because this is fairly recent. I mean, I was already on the planet at that point. Here's some more notes. It's describing a trip. These are little notes she kept of a trip. Our trip. She had a little budget for it. Bed, $4.50. Food, $3.25. Oil, $1.50. Gas, $2.10. Gas, $2.40. It says a trip budget. Oysters, watching films, 55 cents. Cakes, 10 cents. Coca-Cola, 30 cents. Banana split, Sunday. Satsuma's Bridge. She wrote down everything. Gas, Coca-Cola. Wow. Some more minted knowledge. Helen Clark, that's had a swell time that night. It's just what a year. And this is after sewing. It's a little sewing kit right here. A little they would do these. There would be little needles and thread in here. She probably took all that stuff out. A Coca-Cola sewing kit is what that is. And there's a little nice card from Florence. That was my aunt. She would be my aunt. Here's a picture. Jimmy and Buddy. I think Jimmy's. I want to say that he became my cousin and he married my grandfather's sister or niece. I may be wrong about that. And here's a lot of little clippings of things that she found that she thought were witty. Oh, no. Miss Louise Sanders was the weekend guest of Miss Edna Tingle. That's my grandma. Woman, if you can keep your husband in love with you to the last, your life has been a success. On meeting people, do not worry what they are thinking about you, for they are not thinking about you. They are wondering what you are thinking about them. Calling a man a mean name doesn't make it his right name. A girl never knows how much she thinks of her date till some other girl takes a fancy to him. These are just little witticisms on life. Here's a newspaper clipping of, this is, far from the maddening crowd that makes their Canadian tour a riot of cheers and hullabaloo. King George and Queen Elizabeth took a respite from the vigorous adoration when they called time out for a day at Banff, Alberta. You see them with Prime Minister Mackenzie King. So, she was following the King and Queen of England. He's the King's Speech King, by the way, in case you're wondering. Film actress Maureen O'Sullivan is shown with her son, Michael Farrell, born on Memorial Day in Hollywood. He is Miss O'Sullivan's first child, and then that would be Mia Farrell's brother right there. Here is Mr. and Mrs. Douglas Corrigan. In San Antonio, Texas. J.O. Denny, sure he is doing his part. There's any doubt in the minds of men and women that things about rural letter carrier J.O. Denny doing his part towards the day and generation. One needs but to know that on Saturday, October 14th, he and Mrs. Denny announced the birth of Franklin Delano Roosevelt Denny. Some more newspaper clippings. Flags against Atlanta's skyline. It is banquet at Lynette. Invocation, Reverend Kelly and Mrs. Kirkpatrick clearing the shine. Mr. Upton, showers of fun, bending the colors, blending the colors, bits of gold, echoes, treasures from the pot of gold. So this is like a little invitational thing. And then there's a Baptist World Alliance president, Mr. George Truitt. And then she's writing a description of what Griffin myself did on this weekend. We left home at about 6:30 and went by his home. We stayed just a few minutes. We stopped in LaGrange. Griff got me a bird cage. We stopped at several places between LaGrange and Atlanta and bought souvenirs. We stopped at a place this side of Atlanta and bought a cat. In Atlanta, we went to the cyclorama. It was very interesting. Three Germans painted the canvas. Took them 3 years. The canvas weighs 18,000 pounds. And there's 18,000 pounds of paint was used. 72 years after the Battle of Atlanta, Reverend Henderson came while the men who were working and wanted to be placed in the battle. He was placed behind a bale of cotton. Two brothers from Tennessee, one on each side. One was wounded and the other gave him water from his canteen. The eagle would fly over the battlefield out of range to fire during the day and came back and flag at night. That went to S.B. Biltmore. Went through the Grants Park, lots of interesting animals and birds and pretty flowers. Climbed Stone Mountain at about 2/3 or 3/4 of the way up. Griffin Calvin, and that's my uncle, went to the top. We went to see Florence for a few minutes. Went up mountain at Gaston's. Spent the night in Alabama City. Went back to Anniston on Sunday. Stayed a few minutes and came home. It's talking about a trip to Atlanta, which was a trip they took me on years later too, to see the same things. This is official table. She gave you the prices of everything, how much everything cost. Oh no, this might be rationing. This is from 1943. This might be World War II rationing stuff. Blank page. And then some Christmas cards. To Edna. From Robert to Edna. These are old. These are probably back when she was a kid again. And then we got Mr. and Mrs. C.W. Newman announces the marriage of their daughter Bernice to Mr. Olin Day Jr. 1934. Here's a newspaper clipping. Graphic story of Rogers post-crash picked from Eskimo. Whalers relate accident story. This is from 1935 newspaper. See if I can fold it back how it was. Don't miss anything up here. Okay. She had this in a real puzzle. Be like this. This. There we go. And on this paper, intimate glimpses of Rogers and Post. Another about that same story. Oh, this is the this is those quints, the quintuplets. Every scrapbook from the 30s is gonna have this. It's the Dionne quintuplets. If you don't know about this, and if you have a living grandparent from that time, you'll want to ask them about that. It was a big news story. Found its way into every scrapbook from that time period. It's like a page that didn't make it. Some more postcards. There's Stone Mountain. She probably picked it up on that holiday. In memory of Edgar Owen. little bit personal. Some more newspaper clippings. Here's a children's color set. It's a small coloring book. Honor thy parents. It's biblical. And some more paper scraps. Kentucky philosophy. These are things that I think she wrote for school. Some more clippings. Auburn students hear First Lady Mrs. Roosevelt Laud's building. So in Auburn, Alabama, a rousing welcome was accorded to the nation's First Lady when she visited the Alabama Polytechnic Institute yesterday afternoon. This little college city turned out en masse to greet her. And that's where I went to school. There's an envelope here. There's some pressed flowers right there, 1935. And some more right here. Some moss, it looks like. Some sayings that she liked. There is no love like first love, for that is the only real love we ever experience. Some more sayings that she wrote. Wedding announcements for people she knew. More newspaper clippings. Another thing about the quintuplets. They were Marie, Emily, Cecile, Annette, and Yvonne. The First Baptist Church of Lafayette, and I believe that's still standing there. Charles Lindbergh and his wife. It's a Lindbergh kidnapping. This is clippings from the crime. There's Bruno Haltman. This was a big news story. And she kept all the clippings from it. Dramatic events make copy for top happenings. That's the Hauptmann, the Lindbergh kidnapping. Quintuplets, John Dillinger, Vanderbilt, all the big stories of the year. There's a beach postcard from beach scene in Florida. And it's probably Pensacola, because that was their favorite beach. Mr. and Mrs. Cliff Tingle, this was written in 1967. It's a card. Another card. This is from 1958. Mr. and Mrs. Cliff Tingle. And that was her dad, by the way. 1967. Magic moments. It's film negatives from getting pictures developed. This is probably from the 50s or 60s. This is airmail, Mr. and Mrs. John Robinson. And this is from much more recent. This was from Haiti. And that was from my Uncle Bob, who traveled a lot. And then a whole bunch of kids' signatures. So that is my grandma's scrapbook. I hope you enjoyed this trip to the past, and I hope you like my channel. Please consider subscribing, click the bell icon, leave me a comment and a thumbs up, and I'll see you soon. Bye.